Hi, I'm Kurt Vetters, and I'm going to read today from my young adult novel, Freedom Spring, about a young African American boy born into bondage who, in the year 1864, has an opportunity to escape and head to the Union lines in freedom. And that's where we pick up the story of Jim. As he emerged from the woods west of Athens, he could see all the way into town. Everything around the city was cleared, and close to him was a big earthen fort in a star shape. The Union flag flew high above it, and he could see soldiers in blue all around, marching, camping, cutting wood, just walking, and they were black, like him. Jim was naturally a quiet boy, and he did not yell with excitement or leap up and run to the men who looked like him. He thought about his next move, grinning all the while, and that's when he heard the rustle, some 30 feet from him, in the same wood line. It wasn't much of a rustle. Most folks would think it was a squirrel jumping in the fallen leaves, but Jim knew the sound of squirrels. No, this was different. Maybe even a metallic clink within the noise. He could feel the hair on the back of his neck rise. He lay still, so still, barely breathing, and he watched. As his eyes focused through the scrub, he saw the man, lying on his belly like Jim, facing the fort. He looked as if he might be squinting through an eyeglass. Jim had seen these sometimes on the boats at the wharf, but not short like this one appeared to be. The man had a gray cloak and cap. He was bearded and looked rough and weather-beaten. Jim watched the white man watching the fort. He began to scan the area between him and the other fellow, just to make sure he hadn't missed anything. He was glad he was so dirty and that his skin was the color of coffee, because he knew he blended in well with the fall colors of the forest floor. As he moved his eyes left, deeper in the shadows and closer in behind him, he saw a line, almost imperceptible, just a line that should not be there. And then, with horror, the line turned into a cap, and the cap turned into a man, and the man was reaching for him, and Jim was on his feet and sprinting towards the fort, and the gloved hand of the man just swiped at his leg and missed. He just missed, and Jim ran, bursting from the tree line and watching the faces of the dark soldiers stare at him and then level muskets from all angles at him. Jim didn't yell. Jim still hadn't spoken to a soul in months, and even as scared as he was just so foreign for him to make a noise that he ran mute, sprinting as fast as he could towards safety. He waited for the shot to ring out from behind, but none did. He glanced back to the trees, and nothing. No movement, no spying eyes, just woods, thin, scattered trees. It was like the two men had vanished, and now Jim realized he had a problem. All these blue-clad men had their rifles pointed at him. "Get your hands up, young fella," a voice cried. "Are you trying to get yourself plugged?" "Rebs, in the trees," Jim gasped, his first words bursting forth. "Look!" Immediately, the closest blue soldiers jerked their rifles toward the woods, past Jim, and began to spread out and walk slowly towards the trees. But the man who spoke first to Jim kept his rifle trained on him. Even though he had a trusting face, he did not seem to be totally trusting of Jim, not just yet. "Who are you?" the man said, "and what are you doing in those trees? Are you a rebel spy we done caught?" "No, I'm just Jim." And that's where we'll leave you to finish the book. I hope you enjoy Freedom Spring, and I hope you give it a read. Thanks a lot.